we're going to get to the R word, retirement, soon, because it's what everyone is focused on. They seem to have an idea on what you're doing. But I want to get ahead of the game a bit and look forward to when that day finally comes. What will you look back on? How will you feel about your time in Hong Kong? And what I want to know is, are there any regrets, and do you wish you had an opportunity to do more in Australia and around the world?
I'm comfortable with the career I've had and the decision I made. I could have stayed in Australia, or I could have come here for the 6 months I was originally going to come here for, and then gone back to Australia and chased, the big races in Australia and got a heap of trophies and put them all on the mantelpiece and felt like that was going to be success for me. But my success has been getting to the top in Hong Kong, being champion jockey here, winning all the races I have here. And then with that, obviously, financially, and which is probably more important, and it's not all about money, of course. It's about, as a sportsman, about achieving your goals and doing the best you can. But by being in Hong Kong, financially, it's put myself and my family in a position where we're going to be comfortable for the rest of our lives. And I think that is the bigger goal and the more important thing than having a heap of trophies on the mantelpiece. So, have I sacrificed something for that? I don't feel like I have. I always had this idea that I'd like to go and ride in an English Derby, a Arc de Triomphe, Japan Cup, Kentucky Derby, all those races. But being contracted to ride here, it hasn't allowed me to do that. You're restrained, you're stuck here. You don't have that flexibility and freedom. And if it's not just being able to ride in those races. Obviously, you want to win them and you want to compete to a certain level in them. And without going and building those relationships and traveling the world and putting the time in, it's just not possible, right? So it just got to a point where you got to weigh up what matters most. And, I ended up putting my family in front of those things, but it's not something that I regret. It's the decision I made, and I'm happy with that. So when I do retire, I don't feel like I've not achieved what I wanted to.
I wouldn't be a journalist if I didn't put it on you, even though I've asked you many times before, and everyone probably asks you every day. You can announce it here if you'd like. Retirement? What's the plan?
Well, this is the thing, right? And I'm partly to blame for that, because I'm the one that has brought it up and does keep bringing it up and putting it out there. So it's not as if people are plucking it out of nowhere. Like they're reading it, they're hearing it, they're seeing it. So I don't know when it's going to be. I don't have a set date or goal. It could be 3 weeks' time. It could be in December. It could be March. It could be July. But I definitely am not going to be riding in 2 years' time. So it's some time within that time frame. My body will tell me mentally. I'll be able to tell myself when time is up, and I'm at peace with that. I think I see too many sportsmen go past their best, and I don't want to be one of those that is on the slippery slope on the way down the hill, and everyone's kicking them on the way down, saying, "Oh, he should have retired last year. He should have retired 2 years ago." That's not me. Like I said, financially, I don't need to keep going on. So I've got the choice. I've been able to retire sort of whenever I want to. So I'm not going to be pushed into it, but I'm not going to go on forever.
One more question. Tell me about the city and the people of Hong Kong, and I don't know what you thought about this place growing up in Coffs Harbour. Maybe you knew a bit more about it when you were in Sydney, but tell me about what this place and its people have done for you as a person.
Yeah, so I didn't know what to expect before I come here. I hadn't never been to Hong Kong before. And I got off the plane, and all of a sudden I felt like I was on my own. I see all these people that I've never seen or met before. There was only one trainer here, David Hall, whom I had met before, but I never rode for him. He was in Melbourne, I was in Sydney or Brisbane. Our paths sort of never really crossed. So I come in, I didn't know anyone. So that was a strange feeling. But this is the longest I've ever lived in one place in my whole life. My kids were born here, got married while I was here. I probably built the best part of my career whilst being here. I've got a lot to like, or a lot of love for Hong Kong. I've met some great people. It's given me everything. It's set me up for the rest of my life. Globally, I've been able to travel the world because of it. Would I have the same status as a rider if I stayed in Australia as I do in Hong Kong? I don't think so. I've ridden some wonderful horses. I've made some great friends here. Hong Kong to me feels like it is my second home. It will always feel like it is my second home. It's going to be sad the day I leave. And I already feel sad thinking about that because it's been such a large part of my life for so long. So, it's going to be a bittersweet moment. But that's life. Like at some stage, I need to close this chapter and move on to the next. And I am also excited about moving on to the next chapter and the next stage of my life. But, I'll certainly maintain the relationships that I have here and no doubt come through from time to time. In what capacity, I'm not sure. I'm not sure whether I stay in racing once I retire from riding. I have an idea on some things I want to do, but like everything in life, you've got an idea, but you step into it and you think, is this really what I want to be doing, or do I want to be doing something else? So I don't know what the future really holds for me either, but I am looking forward to that next stage, and like I said, it's going to be a bittersweet moment, but I've got to accept that it's going to happen.